Gatekeepers get the first selection this time around. And they have the first ban as well. And with that ban, they'll take away Hell.
Not looking to take any chances, and for good reason. Neilmon is probably one of the best Hell supports out there. Don't want to let that guy get anywhere near a god like Hell. And RDO going to be the same response from ALG. No surprises there either.
Yeah, and Terra banned out by Gatekeepers. And again, just touching on Naruma, the new player for ALG. Oddball supports his thing. So, do we see a Kuzenbo?
No, I don't. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me too much to see the Kuzenbo, but not today. Instead, it's going to be the Scotty for Gatekeepers, and I like this choice. Could be a little bit of a flex pick. Man Ray could potentially take her into the mid lane. That could be Days, ADC, all around strong look and already decent pressure.
Could call in the selection for ALG again. Not really sure if it's going to go to Weekend, Cyclone Spin, or even other. Osiris here kind of whittles it down, but 2 warriors on the Fire Giant side of the map seems to be ALG's game plan. One more time, we'll see Pain Beyond on Ganesh. Gatekeepers with one more pick for their first half of the draft.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, and that's definitely the motto for General Pain. The Ganesh, I like the way that he uses ultimate because a lot of the times he was catching somebody grouped inside of the pillars where he was actually blocking them physically with that ult. That can be kind of overlooked on Ganesh's Dharmic pillars, but it does essentially work as a blockage.
People always talk about Pain's ability to lead the guys and then say, oh, but he's just not that good mechanically. No, he's not the best. I'll be the first one to say it. I think he would probably as well, but he's still an SPL level player, and those things are fun to watch. Fafnir, the support for ALG, as they ban out the Soul. Man Ray looked very strong on that character, as well as the Scylla. Thoth guy banned out by the Gatekeepers, and with the final ban of our second match, wonder where we'll go.
Raw.
It'll be the Raw.
I like this all around, taking away some setup gods that could have been really potent considering ALG has that Kakolin and the Osiris. There's a lot of frontline and a lot of peel potential. Plus, my favorite, though, for ALG is the Fafnir. Since it's against a Scotty, Fafnir is really excellent at burning out Calder with the Coerce.
True. Chronos selected here. Still ambiguity on the side of ALG. Is that a Hunter or is that a mid laner? We'll find out. Bellona and Sun Wukong on the same team. I think we're going to see the jungle Wukong, the mid lane Vulcan. That is certainly something that we know Man Ray is capable of playing. So, interesting and likable draft again by the Gatekeepers.
I'm hoping that this time Man Ray's Vulcan goes a little bit better than the last time I got to see it. So I have high hopes for Man Ray, though. After his Game 1 performance, he's really been on fire today, it seems, and I don't think he plans on slowing down anytime soon.
Chiron here, the last selection for ALG. You know, both of these guys, I think Chiron's going to wind up in the mid lane. Matt Yankee, more of the traditional guy, and Oceans likes to play weird stuff. So Chiron might be over there in the mid lane. I like what we see out of the Chiron. Curious to see. I'm waiting here because I'm still not sure where anybody on ALG's landing.
Chronos is a much more preferable matchup against a Scotty because you have a lot more survivability and chances to farm it out. And it will be Matt Yankee on that Chronos, trying to do everything in his power alongside of Neilma to keep that dog under.
Weekend on the Osiris jungle. Cyclone Spin playing Kakulin over there in the short lane. And then, Grave is going to be in the jungle as the Monkey King. So, a little bit of oddball stuff coming out here, but you know what? That's just where we're at right now, and I love it.
Seeing if there's anybody that can catch off guard. Mando Warrior not looking to take his chances, however, kind of spotting out that 5-man grouping from Allegiance. I like the thought process, though. It's early in the game. Everybody still has plenty of time to make it on over to where they want to farm anyway. So if you can find a first blood potential off card anyway, you might as well.
We saw the Poppies do it twice yesterday. They left their Hunter over there in the duo lane and just took 4 dudes, put them on the right side, and killed somebody. Now, they didn't win the game, but it was certainly a nice look and absolutely something to take note of. Pain Beyond not seen by Oceans or Weekend as he sort of waits out there, starting in the mid lane, as well as Scotty looks for the red by herself. And nice stuff coming out from the guys on Allegiance as they're really punishing Pain.
Just so much damage from those cleave attacks on the Osiris. And Osiris jungle, not necessarily the most prevalent choice in the world, but it's been coming to play a little bit more lately, and a lot of that's just due to Osiris having pressure, and he's got his ultimate, which provides not only the anti-heal, but the stun in place, so it sense.
And don't forget, you know, he's just got so much slow, and it sets up the rest of the team, certainly fits what Weekend wants to do. Right side, Grave will join up with Mando Warrior, but over there in the middle lane, still banging it out, honestly. Look how low everybody was able to get. Half HP for Man Ray. And now that we see the retreat into the jungle, Mando Warrior and Grave are going to meet up with Weekend and Oceans, looking for the speed. Mando with the dash, caught out. There's an early shell, but it's a 4-on-2 with SPL Gatekeepers on the good side. Weekend falls down. First blood for the Monkey King. It's Grave helping the team.
That knockup from Man Ray came up massive for Gatekeepers, really allowing them to keep that Osiris pinned down in place. Pain with the immediate follow-up, of course, on the Ganesh, and the sprint. The sprint is really what sells it for me, just to make sure that everybody can get out safely.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, this is the unit type of play, the full team composition stuff that SPL Gatekeepers are going to be expected to bring game in and game out. I mean, that was a playbook play drafted from the beginning of the game. Pain Divion starts middle lane, and they push up so that they can meet at that speed buff. That wasn't accidental by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all. And again, Man Ray and Pain just really sticking together. We saw a lot of this in game number 1 during the early stages where Pain was kind of just floating around Man Ray the entire time. I really like this because providing so much assistance to a god like Vulcan, who already has a safe clearing phase as far as laning is concerned, but just in case they can catch anybody out of position, there is certainly lockdown potential there.
Man Ray gonna head back to base, and you said it earlier. Very impressed with what Man Ray's been able to bring out today.
He's turned around like a lot compared to where Man Ray was first starting out when he started venturing into competitive play to what I'm seeing from him here today. It definitely looks like a completely reformed player, and that's a refreshing sight.
And you know what? I do have to give a shout out here. One of the Challenger casters, one of the former Challenger casters, D6, right? He's been sitting here talking about Man Ray and how he's changed for so long. And, you know, when it comes down to some of these players, we don't see their day-to-day. And a lot of people kind of didn't believe him on it. But D6 here, I guess you get your credit for at least game number 1 against ALG. I'm curious to see how Man Ray develops as the season goes on.
It's been more of a recent 2-month thing than anything else.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, we've seen him for so long and he's given us the same damn thing. So when people say, oh, he's changed, I go, we'll see what happens, right? But, you know, hearing that input from the Challenger guys, certainly a nice look. Data Remember in trouble, 2v1, however, and Matt Yankee, big damage out of the Chronos. Nice turnaround as Neilma goes to the transformation. Pain Divion, Man Ray a little bit late to the party, but the ultimate from Vulcan over the top won't find the target, and it's Weekend with the revenge kill, taking down Data Remember.
And that red buff's looking mighty juicy after they find this kill onto Pain Divion. Can they secure it? Ocean's already up into the Chiron ultimate. Yes, the answer is yes, as well as the red buff. That is all Met Yankee.
I like how Weekend gets the stun. Still being the setup man, right? Setup man Weekend. He did fall down for first blood, but then he comes right back and answers. Very nicely done by ALG.
This time he had his own 4-man squad. Last time it was the 2v4.
Yeah,
this time he was in the 4v2 portion of the things.
I like how both of those instances is an invade, right? So these two teams just want to be aggressive. So we'll see. I feel like that's the entire... Ooh, nice slow coming out from Cyclone, pushing Mando onto the tower. I like that. That's cute.
The horrific emblem from Cyclone actually made it so that Grave couldn't properly turn the Tiger anyway. So that's the most awkward thing in the world when you're just running at like 1 mile per hour right past somebody.
You ever, Data Remember in trouble. Very low, stunned out by Weekend, and just can't get away from the slows. But the trade is good. Weekend takes out Data Remember, but Data Remember takes out Met Yankee. Now Pain Divion feeling the slow. Weekend has to go deal with the minions. Pain dancing in between them. Gives himself some protections, and then dashes away.
Shoutouts to Ganesh and the assist capability, because without that, Day is at a total loss. But thanks to the Ganesh passive not being able to take kills, and if they have a team member nearby, works out great.
Yeah, good. Now you're keeping up your 2 hunters. Gremlin's taking out with the SPL gatekeepers on the right side. I was gonna say the slow when you're driving when you're dealing with the Tiger, kind of like driving without power steering.
Speaking of which, Cyclone looking to still get revenge from that previous game onto Mando Warrior, and again Mando just getting away with not enough HP to where it'll deteriorate.
The flank.
No, here it comes.
Neomar finds the stun. Not the follow-up. Oceans, one more shot.
Dead.
Masterful shot. There it is. Oceans from a mile away finds the damage with the ultimate, and then follow-ups with the masterful shot. Chiron on patrol. Mando Warrior can't escape anything.
That
Rough.
flick of the wrist was nasty.
That was
You could even see
great.
him just immediately flick it, and that looked great.
That's Oceans. Day to remember has to beats out ALG onto the tower. Matt Yankee, another one. Number 5 for Allegiance. Looks like Cyclone Spin's in trouble here. Grave 2v1. Shell is very good from Neilmon. There's another slow from Cyclone. And Grave kind of stuck out now. Forces the ultimate. Aggressive or defensive?
It should be defensive now that Oceans is making the rotation. I am a little bit surprised that Grave didn't opt to ult sooner.
Yeah, I thought we might have seen the follow-up.
Got kind of, I believe he felt a little bit greedy with that ultimate and wanting to not have to burn it out just yet.
The Chiron mid, man. The Chiron mid.
He's been all over the place, and
So
the best part
exciting.
about it, he's got a hunter that can follow up with him just in case.
Where did Matt Yankee's HP just go?
It got silenced out and completely destroyed. Now Day has finally got some help in this dual lane side from Pain. Pain also looking to help shut down Weekend. Calder's still chasing, and Man Ray's venturing over now as well, but doesn't seem as though either side really wants to keep that engagement going. Day, however, is actually going to make his way on over, and Neilma can't get through.
I don't know about that turret placement.
It's just in case.
It's shooting the wall, Taco.
It's to hit the sides. It'll hit something. It's always planned.
I think it's
Just
I
keep
think
that
it's
in
shooting
mind.
the wall, Taco.
It's always planned.
Just like the triple bounces.
That seemed like a little bit of a fat finger, if you ask me. But we're just gonna leave it as is.
Now that one I like a little bit more. Man Ray and the Vulcan. This is a character he's relatively known for. Man Ray has a nice Vulcan. He's got the soul. He's got a really good soul. Got a band out against him actually.
His soul was popping off, and I think that he did a great job on it last game. And the same story could potentially happen here for Gatekeepers, because having the Vulcan just means that they still have the same possibilities as far as objective secure and objective aggression is concerned.
Yeah, just a lot of damage. And of course, I mean, I don't think anybody really beats a well-timed Vulcan on the objective. Maybe a Thoth guy.
Vulcan has been a god that's been seeing a little bit more favor lately, because he's one of the few characters that can afford to do a Book of Thoth rush. A lot of mid laners can struggle with mana issues early on, and you're still going to have some of those problems when you're playing gods such as Vulcan, but you just are safe, so to say, when you're farming out that mid lane, and having that possibility to rush such a heavy power item so early just makes things all the better for you in the long run.
Yeah, you just drop the turret. You can sort of regain some of your mana while the turret does some of the heavy lifting for you. So nice stuff out of the Vulcan player there. Pain to be on you. Get stunned out a little bit, but that's just Nurma trying to stack up some Travelers procs. 10 minutes here on the clock, and Legion's starting off to a much better start than they were last time around. Still basically even, up 400 gold or so, but this one is tied for sure.
The pressure that was applied onto Day in that dual lane hasn't seemed to make too much of a difference just yet. He's still relatively even as far as the farm is concerned, just now finishing off that Transcendence, so that'll be a little bit of a power spike coming his way. And this 4-man grouping, sort of now they're spreading out a little bit more, but you could tell they want this red buff invade.
Yeah, Weekend's going for it, leading the charge. Naruma and Matt Yankee as well are here hanging out, but still, Matt Yankee's coming, and Oceans from the other side. Now he's gonna take the same way around. The turret taking it. And it looks like blue team does get control of the red buff. Naruma gonna ult as well as Pain to Beyond, trying to keep 3 players on the left side. Nice ultimate from Man Ray, but it's not enough to take down the Chronos player, Met Yankee. Here comes Data Remember on the back end. Weekend taking down one. Cyclone Spin taking down the other. Nice collapse by ALG. Naruma just barely alive here, but did the dirty work, and the job was done. Now, 3-on-5, Gold Fury, or just the Oracles, excuse me, picked up by Allegiance. Mando Warrior is next.
Now it's about to be the Gold Fury. Mando Warrior is able to fall here, and it looks like he's going to go down. Yes, he is. There he goes by Cyclone Spin, but Grave found Oceans on the backside.
Grave gets saved right there from Man Ray. He's dead to 1-2 basic attacks off of the top, right? Not going to be found. Oh, and Grave's going to look for the kill after the fact. He's going to find Cyclone Spin. Grave is dead. Grave is dead to 1 basic attack as he goes up in that cloud. But the knockup from Man Ray over the wall lets Grave go in the sky and then take down Cyclone Spin. And with both Cyclone and Oceans dead, Allegiance can't go for the Gold Fury.
And then Man Ray just brought out the juke shoes underneath that T2 tower. Cyclone getting a little bit too hungry. Gatekeepers were flirting with the idea of pressuring the Gold Fury, but ALG sniffing it out, just forcing them to back back off of it.
That's really shooting your shot. I don't know about that one. But that was, Gatekeepers recovered off of that fantastically. That was Allegiance's play. They get those 2 kills, they look for the gold.
It was so unfortunate for Gatekeepers the way that they were pinched in that corridor because Mando didn't make the rotation at the same time as Cyclone, and that was the primary difference between the two. Is Cyclone made it there just a little bit sooner, and sometimes that's all you need is for your soul laner to be a couple seconds ahead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw. Mando Warrior goes down and opens the door for Allegiance. Pandavion dashes forward. Nice avoidance. But still, I think that was the small things, right? If Grave dies there, that's easy objective for ALG. Grave stays alive thanks to 1 meatball. Okay, I'll take it. SPL Gatekeeper still in this one. 500 gold down.
This permafrost is about to start becoming a real nuisance, though, for Allegiance, and that's really what I'm waiting for, is the permafrost inside of the Ganesh ultimate, because nobody wants to go onto the sides, getting bounced around a little bit, potentially off the Dharmic pillars, and a Vulcan ult on top is just like to seal the deal.
That all sounds very scary, but it also sounds like a pain in the neck to set up.
Not really. It's pretty big AoE all around. It's hard to miss permafrost. Maybe a little bit more difficult for Pain to drop down the pillars in the right spot, but as far as Day being on point, that's something that you can't really ever go wrong with.
It's fair to say. Definitely keeping an eye open for that strategy. Combination of characters certainly kind of nice to see. Book of the Dead being rushed on the Chronos. We've seen this a couple of times so far, Taco. It's an expensive item for sure, but it seems to be doing work.
It does a lot of work, and it's probably more viable in a competitive setting than in your standard rank games, because in competitive, you're going to have your team to assist you and help you acquire the farm that you need in order to stay alive, get that item online, and it is a massive item once it is online. It's so much lifesteal, and due to all of that and being involved, you just never really have to worry about backing as often as you might normally would.
Gold Fury pulled by the guys on Allegiance. They're just flirting with it, though, Taco. I think they really want the fight. Although at this point, it's already at half HP. Pain to Beyond and Grave are around, but they do want the fight. There's the explosion out of Naruma, and the ultimate over the top will be avoided. And now Grave dealing damage to Naruma. Here comes a slam down. The solo lane damage is strong, and Mando Warrior taking down the support.
The massive, masterful shot, though, from Oceans, placing the punch onto everybody from Gatekeepers. Grave forced up into the cloud, and Oceans lives there because of his Aegis.
Yeah, just nice relic choice coming out from Oceans in the mid lane. Relic usage, I mean, Aegis, everybody's picking that up, but nice relic usage, I'll give him credit for at least. 12 to 12 are our 2 mid laners.
I believe he I believe that Ocean's procced his ultimate off onto 4 different people there. Man Ray was hit in the back with the slow. They're all slowed, but unfortunately for ALG, there's just nobody left to follow up. They already lost Neilma in that engagement. They're all super poked out, and this time around, there's no Terra, there's no secondary heals coming through. The only person who really has any sort of a heal is Ocean's from that Chiron passive, and then Met Yankee. I guess Neilma to a certain extent as well.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the nice things about Chiron, and is that slow that you get and that full understanding that, hey, I'm going to try and sweep the board and slow everybody down with a single masterful shot. Certainly something you want to look at.
And I'm just waiting to see what this Mace Tree build is going to be from Day. It could potentially be a Brawlers, or it could also be the Crusher or Jotuns. There isn't really much necessity for a Brawlers in this circumstance unless he feels concerned about the Kronos' Book of the Dead, considering that that's the direct 1v1 matchup, but he has a little bit more flexibility if he wanted to value the cooldown since he's been chased out so often by Weekend on this Osiris.
Brawlers also, don't forget, 40 power, 20 penetration. Say it all the time, just powerful for ability-based builds. Right now, Cyclone Spin looking for a whole bunch of control on the back end, looking for the support, and the mid laner. Grave going to go up with the ultimate nice and early. Hunters making the rotation, just now passing the Gold Fury mark. And although it looked like Met Yankee might have been able to be collapsed on, he might be? No, he's good.
Now it's Day to remember that they've got their eyes set on, as well as the red buff, but Day able to steal it away with the Kaldor dash attack. That is one good dog.
Mando from the top. All good dogs are good dogs. Mando from the top looking for the slowdown. There's Naruma. He's got to jump away as well. Oof. Ooh, I thought that was going to be a much bigger sandwich, but SPL Gatekeeper's just a little bit too slow there.
2 ults, though, shoved out from Gatekeepers. You've got the loss of the Bellona protections from that ultimate. No longer that AoE stun apply, but Weekend, a little bit of pressure put onto him from Gray, but now the turnaround is coming from ALG as they're looking to chase this one down the mid lane.
Weekend won't find the ultimate, but Ocean certainly will. One more shot might do it, and it does. Masterful as sure as hell. That's going to bring down Grave. Now 4 players trying to defend the tier 1 tower. Bounce, bounce, bounce goes Neil Ma. 1 meatball as well, gonna knock him up instead of around. There's a short-range shot from Vulcan.
Oh, and he's just 1 HP. Neil Ma is going to get away from this one. How?
Oh, man.
Just how?
If Man Ray takes 1 half step back, this is not a criticism on Man Ray. If Man Ray takes
just a little bit more range,
he taps S. Well, you just push it once, that gets the kill. That cannot feel good. Oceans, however, looking incredible on this mid Chiron.
I mean, he used to be a Hunter player. You can't ever really take it out of him, but now the contest is coming through. Allegiance might actually lose this one, and they will! No, Allegiance actually able to secure it, but they lose Met Yankee in the process.
Not a good look now for the secondary fight. Everybody at SPL Gatekeepers are low, but they still want it. Met Yankee goes down. The Gold Fury goes the way of ALG. Very important one as well. Staying up 2,000 gold is ALG.
I really thought for a second that they lost that one, and then I saw the red tick for ALG and the swap around. But man, oh man, what a risky business play.
Hey man, the risky plays would allow SPL Gatekeepers to take the lead in game number 1, and it snowballed out of control. Allegiance taking a page from their opponent's playbook and saying, you know what? Sometimes, you know exactly what I'm going to say.
You just got to go for it?
No, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Risk it? Okay, that's fair enough, but right now they're trying to risk it for that speed buff. It is going to be secured by ALG, though. Day kind of just trying to see what sort of poke he can get on the backside, and instead he's going to get aggressed onto by Cyclone, forced to throw out Calder, but no one else really looking to engage.
Risk it for the speed buff doesn't. It's gotta have a punch. Come on, Peckies would be very upset. Speed buff, look, just look tough for the speed buff. Done, nice and easy, just like that.
At least our cameraman seems to agree with you.
Mando Warrior gonna take some damage from Met Yankee. We're having a lot of fun here. This has been a wonderful match to watch. SPL Gatekeepers, if you guys missed the relegations, these guys are the up-and-comers. These guys are fresh out of the challenger scene. It's Panda Beyond, veteran of the SMITE world. And to be fair to his team, a couple of these guys have been through the ringer on the secondary level of competition. But here, making their name known in the SPL. Day to remember, 2v1 in relegation. Not in the SPL, my friend. It's going to just be tower dove to oblivion. And one hit meant Yankee gets credit. Big tower dive out of the guys on Allegiance. Graves showing up a little bit too late. I don't know what he can do here. Oh, we might die for him.
He might not be able to do anything except go down, and Matt Yankee just dealing so much damage on this Kronos. Level 17. He's got the Spear of Desolation online, and Mando Warrior, he's in solo island right now.
Yeah, Mando Warrior going to make sure it's a trade. Tier 1 for Tier 1. 4 players strong as Allegiance on the left side of the map with Kukulkan pushing down the middle lane. Mando Warrior's likely going to look for this Tier 1 and then get the hell out of there and try to join his team, especially with the Hunter down for the count. There's the blink forward. Again, Cyclone Spin. 3-man knockup. All eyes on Man Ray as the Mage tries to get away. Grave very low, forced into the cloud. Man Ray looks to be safe. Cyclone Spin way beneath enemy lines.
They can't afford to try and defend this T2 tower, not against the tower shred of a Kronos. And
here it comes!
Vulcan Ultimate might connect. Unfortunately, just a little bit short. Pop the sprint just to be safe. Everybody from ALG just backing off.
Did not expect them to, I guess, retreat that hard. I don't know. Either way, Vulcan Ultimate does not come up in the clutch. Cyclone Spin making moves this game.
He also had to worry about Cyclone Spin actively chasing him down, so he's just looking to throw his ultimate to assist his team as much as possible during that T2 siege. And unluckily enough for Man Ray, it just doesn't find a home.
Cyclone Spin. Kukulkan, Cyclone Spin. I couldn't figure out the man's name in that team fight. He was just causing so much trouble for SPL gatekeepers, blinking on the backside. And we were talking about the difference between impact and presence, right? And we were watching Cyclone Spin on the tier just not have that presence that he's having on this Kukulkan. Blinking in, finding multi-man knockups, and just sitting there, able to control virtually the whole squad. Mando Warrior, we'll see later.
Speaking of control, Mando Warrior expending everything, trying to get away, but it won't make a difference. Ocean Slow proccing after his ultimate had already been released means that Mando is still caught up by 4 members from ALG. That is an easy tower siege now for Allegiance to make.
Oceans finishes off that right side tower. Tier 1 was thought about being aggressed on by SPL gatekeepers by way of split push, but not going to happen. We said goodbye to one solo laner as they got collapsed on by an entire team. We'll say goodbye to a second solo later as they get collapsed on by an entire team. But they kill Cyclone Spin and leave their Tier 2 tower unguarded. Not sure if that's the right play.
Every objective feels unguarded against a Kronos this late into a game, even though it's only 23 minutes. He just packs so much damage into every single one of his in-hands in that 4th quadrant. Very easy to secure those, but they might be able to pick up Oceans in the process. He's actually going to get out thanks to the peel from Weekend.
And the turnaround damage as well. Ocean's able to just activate that ultimate, shoot somebody in the face, and Grave very quickly realizes, wow, this guy really hurts. If I sit here and take all 3 shots of this ultimate, I am dead. So he turns around and walks away. Interesting build coming out from Oceans as well. Odysseus' bow 3rd.
Nothing wrong with that because he's just looking to proc off damage. He has the Transcendence, which is enough power alongside of the Warrior Tabi to make the Odysseus bow viable. Plus, whatever damage he's missing, Met Yankee is all but making up for on this Kronos.
Pain to be on here, sniffing around. Naruma gonna stun him out, but Gold Fury kept at a distance here. 24 minutes in, Allegiance have 6,000 gold above their opposition who took game number 1, and they're not looking to give it up anytime soon.
It was almost looking like a dead elephant for a second there, and that would have been a very awkward situation for gatekeepers. They want to contest this Gold Fury, but
what a pain.
It was a seemingly close enough game up until ALG secured the team fight and that first Gold Fury. And now that they've started to break away with a little bit of a lead, Met Yankee is just abusing his damage.
Everybody knows that Payne had to back. Half HP and he was banging in front of the enemy. Now he's already on his way back up the lane, but Allegiance started this Gold Fury. It's 25 minutes in. They have the power and the damage to take this quick.
And Oceans and Met Yankee know for a fact that their job is to stay on the objective. Grave trying to help the contest. Weekend looking to zone out Mando Warrior. and it's all Allegiance.
That was a rough time to back for the support player on SPL Gatekeepers. The fight after the fact might be good. Man Ray again off the mark with that Vulcan ultimate. Cyclone Spin over the top finds the Hunter, and now Cyclone Spin might be traded out, but it's Oceans taking down Man Ray first. Mando Warrior stomps down Cyclone Spin. It's a 1-for-2. The Solar Later on the side of Allegiance going down. Mando Warrior likely to suffer the same fate, and he does. Oceans with number 6.
The difference between these two squads right now is that there is a ton of follow-up damage coming from ALG as opposed to Gatekeepers. It's just not able to connect for these guys. Day has had such a difficult time on this Scotty maneuvering around the chase factor of the Osiris and Neilma on the Fafnir, completely burning away that Scotty dog every single time Kaldor tries to come out.
Nice strategy coming out from Allegiance, allowing them to find themselves nice and up. First Fire Giant of the game goes to them as well. They'll look for the Portal Demon. All of the objectives have belonged to Allegiance. I think Gatekeepers grabbed one Portal Demon in this game, whereas last game we were really celebrating Gatekeepers' ability to make the objective calls, whether they were surprised or not, making very good use of objective secure. This is how an SPL team adapts and adjusts. Allegiance took game number 1 and said, how do we lose? And they said, all right, we'll just have to control the objectives better. And that's exactly what they're doing.
I do feel as though Gatekeepers just needed to put a little bit more pressure onto that dual lane side as far as assisting Day was concerned. A lot of the times that he was dying, it wasn't off of him being caught out of position. It was actually him being exactly where he was supposed to be. It just so happened that Allegiance also decided they wanted to be in his jungle, in his purple buff, red buff, T1 tower.
Yep.
Every single open opportunity.
They understand that, you know, Gatekeepers is a team-oriented team. All 5 members are going to come through, but Data Remember is capable of doing the heavy lifting. So you got to keep him and the Scotty down for the count. Allegiance taking down the tier 2 tower without much trouble here. Don't forget Fire Giant on them.
This is still not quite over just yet for Gatekeepers, as bleak as things might be looking right now. And I say that because Man Ray is piloting a Vulcan. Vulcan is probably one of the most notorious gods for locking down the turtling effect of a Titan rune.
Sure. I mean, yes, absolutely. Does it worry you that he built the Spear of Desolation instead of a Rod of Tahuti?
No, because that's just cheaper.
Okay.
It's slightly cheaper than Rod. He really just didn't feel, he probably felt as though he needed more pen as well.
Just
to
affect the fight now.
Exactly. He's facing off against a Fafnir, an Osiris, and a Kakolin. Nothing wrong with building a little bit more pen.
Gotta get again, timing of the itemization. This is when the fight is. You don't get Tahuti late. You can't afford to wait it out, I suppose. Allegiance looking for the fight. Here comes Cyclone Spin. No blink this time. Just right up in the enemy face. Grave gets a knock-up onto 1. Data Remember dealing with Weekend on the back end. This time Man Ray's ultimate hits, but it hits the tanky Cyclone Spin and the ageist out Oceans. Pain to Beyond jumped on by Naruma, and the left side Phoenix about to fall down. There it goes. Grave on the back end finds Weekend, but is he able to get out himself? I don't think so, Taco.
No way in hell. And it's going to be Ocean's kill again.
Worth?
Shutting out. I think that's worth, because that's at least one tanky frontliner taken away. Although Gatekeepers are losing one of their own. Still had the Bologna and the Ganesh, however, to try and hold this one off. Bologna probably a little bit more valuable just because of the disarm effect against Oceans and Met Yankee.
Blink not used last engagement because Cyclone Spin was tanking up the tower. This time it's used to look for Man Ray. Pain to Beyond to the front end, taken out by the mid-hunter Oceans. And now Cyclone Spin, who dives very deep, knocked up and put down. Data Remember gets credit, but it's already done. The tier 2, tier 3 tower, the Phoenix, that one's gone.
They're able to find the response kills, but they're still just a little bit too far behind in order to keep this Chronos Chiron shut out. Allegiance losing their frontliners. That's a win every single day, as long as they're getting the objective.
SPL Gatekeepers not able to play defense good enough to survive, to preserve their left and mid Phoenix. Right Phoenix still available. 30 minutes on the clock here, and Allegiance up over 10,000 gold. That's always the scary part for me personally, Taco. Once you reach 10, 11, 12K, it starts to look really grim.
Man Ray has just been so deprived of gold the entire game, losing his red buff consistently because of the invades coming through from ALG all game long has made this so difficult for him to try and catch back up. He's level 17, Oceans is level 20, he's full build. He's probably upgrading his actives right now, if not building the red pot, and either way, it's just so much power that he has to try and break through, and that's just proven to be incredibly difficult for the Vulcan.
Gold Fury here, trying to be stolen. This one again goes to Allegiance. Just not a strong showing here from SPL Gatekeepers in the later part of game number 2.
The worst part is that was also Man Ray's ultimate. It's just the damage from the Chronos Time Rift was too much.
Yeah, the Vulcan ultimate's really hard to time. Ooh,
He's looking for it.
I expected it.
He's got the damage. His Polynomicon is online. He still has one more slot to go. Hasn't even bothered opting for a Hasten Ring because he didn't need it this game.
When you have the sprint, when Naruma is able to give you the sprint, you're able to chase players down. It's very, very powerful. It's more predictable than the Hasten Ring. You can sometimes just poke somebody and go, oh no, I have haste now and I won't have it later. Whereas with the sprint, you push the button and you're going. So Naruma can absolutely help that out. Not sure if we'll actually see the ring.
I don't see much reason for Yankee to really build. Now he can if he wants to, but it won't make a difference either way. He's been doing so much work on this Chronos, and you can see already top of the player damage charts, it's going to be Oceans leading the way on that Chiron. Odysseus Bow, I think, putting in the work. And that's really the main thing that I'm keeping an eye on here, is just how effective he has been with landing those auto attacks and just getting that bounce around from his power build, since he opted to go pretty much pen plus chins.
Yeah, and also his ability to hit everybody with those ultimates, the masterful shot, right there, the blink in from Cyclone Spin, catching players unawares. Just knocking everybody off, creating the space for his team to look towards the Phoenix. But instead of looking for the fight here, finally looking for a day to remember. Aegis puts him safe in the fountain. Phoenix goes down. All 3 birds are toast. Man Ray off the mark again with that Vulcan ultimate. Unfortunately, just hasn't had the impact that he needs. Day to remember goes down to the hand of the masterful shot from Oceans. SPL Gatekeepers took game number 1, but Allegiance, they're able to clean this one up, Taco, and it looks like they will. They're going to get their revenge in game 2, split down the middle, as Allegiance take out the second game in 2.
They weren't looking to go down without a fight, and ALG